Over the weekend, the New York Times broke a story about Trump's defense team and how they had sent a memo to special counsel Robert Mueller and federal prosecutors indicating that Trump can't face any type of penalty or prosecution for obstruction of justice because he's the president. He can't obstruct justice. Well, interestingly enough, Judge Andrew Napolitano was on Fox News and he tore that argument apart. He tore other elements of this defense team apart as well, and it is fantastic. So without further ado, let's take a look at the first video.
I think that the letter was a disgrace and harmful.
The January memo.
The January memo. I don't know how it got out. I don't know why the White House would have leaked it, as has been suggested, because it shows really a sophomoric view of the law. They cited the wrong statute, and they interpreted the wrong opinion. They interpreted an appeals court opinion rather than the Supreme Court.
Damn. I don't know if the judge told the Fox News crew that he was bringing his elbow with him and that it was going to be floating above their heads. They're like, all right, Judge Napolitano, all right, tell us about the great Trump theories. And he's like, wait, hold on. Boom. And look, I've said it before, I'll say it again about Napolitano. A lot of credit to him. He's still super right-wing, and he still attacks Clinton and the Democrats and does all that stuff. And so don't get mistaken, that guy is nobody's liberal, okay?
But at least he has principles.
But he does. Look, you give the devil his due. The guy's got principles. He's like, this is dumb. This is not true. That is not what the law says.
So in that first clip, he did mention one of the major mistakes in that memo, which was the team of lawyers mentioning or referencing the wrong statute. But in the next clip, he gets even more specific and lists off a bunch of other mistakes that they made, which is fantastic. Take a look.
Basically saying two things. The president can't commit obstruction of justice because he can order anybody prosecuted, he can stop any prosecution, he can fire anybody he wants. He can, but if he does so for a corrupt purpose, that would be the definition of obstruction of justice. They forgot that part. Second argument they make is that he can interfere with an FBI investigation. That's not obstruction of justice. They forgot that the statute they cited was amended in 2002, 16 years ago, to say that the interference with an FBI investigation intended to produce evidence is obstruction.
The lawyers for the president of the United States. I mean, you would think that he would have a really good legal team. He doesn't have this legal team anymore. But now he has Rudy Giuliani and Jay Sekulow.
So look, he cited exactly the right laws in regard to the 2002 law. And it's hilarious that they left out the part that was about obstruction of justice, which is exactly this case, right? It's pretty convenient. But look, I'm gonna have respect for Napolitano for a long time from here on out. And we can disagree on 100 other policy issues, but whether you're honest is the most important thing. If you're honest and we're having an honest conversation, conservative, progressive, and we disagree, that's great. That's called America, right? The problem is the dishonest guys who back Trump no matter what, no matter how wrong he is on the law. And Napolitano just won't do it.
I know, and he's really risking the possibility of being nominated for the Supreme Court by criticizing Trump's legal team here.
When asked, once said that he, really early on in his campaign, who will you nominate? He said Judge Napolitano, because it's literally the only judge he knows, because that's what he watches TV, right? So that's out, that's gone. He's never gonna get that. And so knowing that Trump is dumb enough to do something like that, he still is criticizing him, but only on the issues where he thinks he's wrong. He backs Trump on policy, he attacks Democrats all the time. Nothing wrong with that as long as you're actually principled.
Now, the more recent hire to Trump's legal team was Rudy Giuliani. Rudy Giuliani happens to be friends with Judge Napolitano, but in this next clip, he attacks him.
And Rudy Giuliani, who was
he could pardon himself.
Correct, a brilliant prosecutor, suggesting that the president could have ordered James Comey to be shot in the Oval Office and that he could not be prosecuted for that. That is absurd and is a violation of the law. He could be arrested, charged, indicted, released, tried after he leaves the White House. But no way would any law enforcement agency allow a murder or an attempted murder to go uncharged because the person behind it was the president.
So you can run and tell that.
So it's also very important that Napolitano is doing this on Fox News. Because if you're in the MSNBC bubble, you're going to just Russia, whatever else they're doing, right? If you're in the Fox News bubble, most of the time, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, you think the world is all roses and rainbows and unicorns now. And when this guy comes in the bubble and goes, no, your dear leader is lying, that's not true. They're like, wait a minute, you just interrupted my dream.
Yeah.
And so it gets them to, wait, I trust Napolitano, I trust Fox News. It gets them thinking a little bit.
Oh, that's a great point. I didn't think about that because I don't really ever rely on them to think. But if they hear from someone like Napolitano, there's a possibility there. But I think the way that people would, at least Trump supporters would interpret all of this would be, oh, Trump's got to hire new lawyers, which could be
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to say the one part that I really disagree with him on, though, is that it's not the lawyers. Giuliani has apparently lost his mind. But the reason why I say it's not the lawyers is Trump is telling them to do this. Trump is telling him, yeah, go out there and say I could shoot somebody and get away with it. That's got Trump written all over it. And I can see Giuliani being like, yes, sir. Yep. All right, I will. No problem. And then later when he gets in trouble, he's like, Rudy, why'd you say that? He's like, oh, yeah. Why do you think several attorneys have already left Trump's legal team? He's impossible to work with. An attorney on a career-making case defending the president leaves because he can't handle it anymore. That is unprecedented. It's because the guy in charge is a total buffoon. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below. Then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.